that's never going to be possible again. Well, then you're going to be right because you're putting that into your own world's existence. Hey ladies, welcome to the She's Rooted podcast.
We're about to get real unscripted.
So pull up a chair. Let's get to the root of it. What's up, Mo?
What's up?
Welcome back to the She's Rooted podcast. That was like 7 words at the same time. Let me reverse. Welcome back to the She's Rooted podcast, or welcome here for the very first time. We are about to drop a quote and see where it goes from there.
I like it.
How you doing today?
I'm really, really good. How are you?
Amazing. I got our Zumba Glow going on because we just wrapped out an amazing class.
This is why I like a podcast. You can't smell me because it's pretty bad over here after that sweat.
Yeah, I did put deodorant on. It does work, so I don't smell that bad.
I feel like I smell like dried sweat.
I'm freezing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
because it's like now it's all catching up.
Same.
But, I just lost it. Hold on.
I'm looking at my hat too, and I really want this. I wish this said rooted across it and not Adidas. And we need
Did you, I may have made one that says that.
I need it.
You know what? We should do that and then put our logo up on the top like that little Adidas.
Yeah, I need it.
Yeah, I like it. It almost looks like turkey feathers.
The Adidas logo?
Yeah, to me.
I thought it looks like a weed plant.
Or that. How about I share this quote with everybody? Because I feel like I got a lot of like thoughts around it. Okay, so I seen this on Instagram actually today. Oh no, yesterday. I seen it super late last night. It says, "Don't let who you were talk you out of who you're becoming. Your past is a place to learn from, not a place to live in." And I was like, screenshot.
Yeah.
That needs to go in a back pocket and then pulled back out. And here we are pulling it back out today. So don't let who you were talk you out of who you're becoming. Your past is a place to learn from, not a place to live in. Where does that bring your brain, Miss Mo?
I love that. And first of all, I love that you're actually pulling it back out because I screenshot a lot of things and then they just live in my phone for decades and till I clean my phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was such a good quote from 4 years ago that I never looked at again. So I love that you actually pulled it back out and so soon.
Yeah.
Man, that's good. It actually gets me in a couple of different ways. I think that's a very like convicting quote because you can look back at your past, I think, as like in some directions, you can think back as like the glory days or like I had this going,
Right.
I didn't even realize it, and blah, blah, blah. And you want to go back there and you're trying to like finagle your way back to that. Um, or you can look back at your past and be like, oh my gosh, it can turn into a prison, right? Where you're like, oh my goodness, I could never because, and now you're here and you're stuck because you're looking back there and you're like, but remember I messed this up or I did this wrong or I whatever, you know? So I think that's just a super powerful quote on like letting go of what was and allowing yourself to be in the now and be in the present of what is for you. And I think that's so beautiful, especially for us on Rooted, you know, in our Rooted journey in this Rooted podcast and being rooted in the present and being rooted in the now and being rooted in, you know, like we talk about like what's working for your life right now, what's working for your family, your priorities, knowing what your priorities are. That's all part of being rooted is
Right.
what matters most to me, and am I building life around those things that matter most to me, or am I being tossed to and fro about old memories or past ways of who I was, or am I being tossed to and fro because this person wants this or that person needs that, like, or are you rooted in your actual own morals, values, priorities, and walking in that present exactly who you are meant to be in that present moment and not thinking about that past, you know?
Right. No, I love that. I do think that there can be so much of a hold around people's actions because the past has that tight grip around them. And even personally, like even like sifting through this brand new chapter I know we talked about last time, like there's no handbook. No handbook about when your kids graduate high school and they were athletes and you were so used to going to the bleachers and cheering your face off. And now there is a different bleacher of their life that you're sitting in. And it's like, man, you look at those as like that Macklemore song, like, is it called Glory Days?
How's it
I
go?
think it's called, it's with him and Kesha.
I'm the worst with
Somebody
movie.
told me that,
I can't.
I think it's Glory Days. Or is it called Good Old Days? Hold on. Let me pop this up.
Say it.
Glory
And
Days. You won't
what?
hear it because of
I'm
my
so
phone,
terrible.
my
People,
mic.
remember this line in this movie? My husband's so good at all that. He can remember lines and movies and
Maybe it's Glorious. No.
oh yeah, yeah. I know
Glor-
what song you're talking about.
No, it's the Good Old Days.
No,
Good old good.
I know
This,
what you're talking
stay
about.
with us, friends. It is Good Old Days with Kesha.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about then.
Oh, you have to know the song. See, my mic's not going to let you listen to it. You can't hear it, can you?
I'm gonna listen to it on mine. Hold on.
Yeah, you pop it up. It is like I cried listening to this song. I wish somebody would have told me, babe,
Oh,
that
I know what
someday
song.
this is be the good old days. Ah, and it's just like you have those moments where it's like you have such core memories in that spot, and like you relive that almost, and you wish you could actually relive that. And then you take out like good core memories and you put in like things that actually brought more stumbling blocks in your life, and you kind of like had that mindset of like it was so hard to break through certain things that you were trying to chase. And when you get to a different place in your life and you look back at, hey, I tried this once before and it didn't work out, you appoint yourself back to the past, not realizing that from where you were to where you are, you had a lot of growth that could have happened in that time frame that would then allow you to now jump over a stumbling block later in life. But you give that past like so much credit for what is going to happen in the future, but you're in a different place in your life. So I think the past like can hold the good that is always good to go back to, and the past can also hold the stumbling blocks that you choose to place in front of your future, even though it was in your past. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Have you ever been in the place where you look at your past though and you're like, oh my gosh, I was a rock star in this area and I'm not anymore?
Yeah. Hi, input Jamie Summers 2025. I'm here. Yes. Hell yeah. We were just talking about this before, like, like we were both back to our roots right now, Zumba. Okay. And like, I'm in a different place in my life. I think I'm gonna write a book and I'm in a whole new chapter. Like, so I'm trying to navigate my way through it.
Yeah.
But like, oh gosh, I'm gonna go back to my roots. I'm gonna teach Zumba. And back in the day when I was teaching at night. Like, do I want to teach at night right now? If
Hmm.
you are an OG student of mine and you're thinking, I hope she says yes, I don't know if I do.
Hmm.
Like, I think that sometimes your past can cloud the excitement over things because you're like, oh, I used to have like 30 people in my class. It was like so much fun and it was great. And I had to let that go because I chose to sit in the bleachers for my kids and I didn't want to miss that, even
Yep.
though I missed my class so much.
Yep.
But as a mom, like I didn't, to me, like I knew where I needed to be in that season of my life. And I had the season where I was showing up twice a week teaching dance classes and I loved it. And now I'm at a place where I have the availability in my day to not go to bleachers because I don't have anywhere to go, but I can teach my classes again, and that's what I want to do. But I'm a lot older now, and different priorities, like you're talking about, in our family life, in our four walls. Am I going to pull away from the family even now, teaching in the evening, versus when does it work best in our family's schedule? When does it work best to where I know it's not going to create a stumbling block in my own passion? Because it's like, we had a snowstorm on Monday.
Yeah.
I I didn't go to the class that I normally go to because like nobody shoveled my driveway yet. I
Yeah.
could have. I didn't.
You guys got a ton of snow. I saw your
On a
picture.
snow.
I
Oh
thought
my
we
God,
were
it's just seen tucks like I whoop, right into the snow.
yeah,
But if I was the instructor, I would have had to leave my house and go teach that class. And I used to do that.
right,
And sometimes you do that and nobody shows up because they're home.
right.
And I'm like, I don't know, it just makes you think like, are you holding on to what was because you're
Oh,
hoping it can be now?
mhm.
Or what was, but here's another thing, Mo. That was that season, not only for me, but that season for all of those people
Right,
that came then
right,
to think that those people are in the same season,
right.
that that's what's going to work best for them now,
No,
10 years later is
right,
kind of silly.
right,
Like if you think about it, like
right,
that time frame might not work for them. They
right.
might not even want to do dance fitness. They might be hitting a boxing bag right now. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like they might be in a different fitness mindset.
yeah. It's so
So you're
different.
holding on to something and it isn't even valid in this year.
Right, right. And that holds you back. And it
It
because you
does.
say that, it's like a little comparison or like a little like reel that keeps playing in your mind. You know who's really good at not doing that? My husband is phenomenal at not doing that. Like
We need
he's
to bring him on so he can pep talk us.
we need to like get a little glimpse inside his brain because my husband and he would never like I don't think he listens to our podcast. I can say this. He is so extremely humble. He would never, it makes me want to cry saying this about him, but he would never like brag on himself. My husband has had some incredible, incredible, incredible moments in his life. Oh my God. Um, that
I'm gonna send this episode to him so we could
no.
listen to it. I'll be like, fast forward to this part. Oh,
He's incredible. He's had some really amazing moments in his life, in his career, in his performance life. He used to do musical theater. He's incredible. He's an amazing human, number one, but he's had some really cool experiences, some really cool like seasons of his career.
yeah,
He can talk about them, but he's moved on to other parts of his career. Obviously, he's grown and he's in a new season in his career, and he can look back and be like, "That was a great time. That was amazing." But like that was a once in a lifetime time. Like he's like wrapped his head around the fact that like for him, he's like that was once in a lifetime. It was incredible. It was so much fun. Like it was fantastic. But like that was a once in a lifetime time. And like now I'm over here and I'm
yeah.
100% over here and I'm 100% present over here. Like whereas I'm like, but do you remember what? Do you remember what? You know, and I'm over here like talking about all it. And he's like, yeah. He's like, and that was once in a lifetime for you. Like, move on, sister. You know, you got other things to do. And I'm like, how did
Yep.
you do that in your head? It's incredible.
Right.
And it's inspiring to see somebody that can have like really truly once in a lifetime things like go on and they like know it and they
Yeah.
appreciate it, but then they move forward and they're like he doesn't attach himself to that. He's done that quote where he's like, I'm not living there.
Yeah.
He doesn't. It's amazing to me.
That is amazing.
I didn't mean to get
It
emotional.
like gives me like it chills because like you look at, man, you could really allow hanging on to that once in a lifetime moment and you're hanging so tight onto that that you're going to miss all the moments that are supposed to be ahead of you. And it might look different. It should look different. It should look different. You know
It,
what I mean?
yeah, it,
Um, I
it's
mean, heck, things change. And they say that the most successful people in the world are those that are able to adapt.
yeah. Blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be broken. That's what my grandma always said to
Say
me.
that again.
Blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be broken. My
Yeah,
grandma always said that to me. I
I
love
love that.
it. Yeah. But I think when we look at, I know because we come from a similar um, background in career fields, like we went through a heavy season of impact, right? Where you're like, oh my gosh, it's all about who you impact and
Yep.
impact and impact. And then it became so big and the scale was so large and the impact was so measurable and it was like incredible that you also can lose the reality that, wow, if you hold on to that, which was you're minimizing any impact you're making now because you're comparing it here, right? Like, and you're not looking at all that impact you made was great and it was necessary at that time with those people in that way. But now there's a new chapter of impact that needs to be made, you know, for your four walls, for your family, for yourself, and all that. But also for the people, we're wired the same. We like to make a
Yeah.
difference. We want to be difference makers. We want to be there for people.
Right.
Um, and just because it doesn't look identical to what we did in the past doesn't mean it's less meaningful or
Right.
less wonderful, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so I think this quote is wild because it really can take you from that headspace to here, or it could do the other where you were saying where you're like, you know, failed in this area, or I messed up this person, or I'm this way, so I can't move past this over here because remember when I blah blah blah
Right.
can hold you back both ways. Whether
Both ways.
you look at the past and you're like, it was wonderful, or you look in the past and you're like, I'm a treacherous bear. Like both of them can hold you back, right?
Right. 100%. Yeah. But whose fault is that? It's always going to be our own personal fault. Our own choices are going to dictate whether we move or we
Yeah.
stall.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it's like so cliche to just talk about it because it's so easy to say. Like, even like as we're walking through things and it's just, I don't know. It's easy to say things and then it's like once you say it and it clicks and you hear it differently, then you're able to make a different choice. I don't know, because you just kind of look at it as someone that wants to make huge impact and you're looking at a past and different pockets of impact and in a different place of your life and you look at where you're at now and you're like, I can grab a hold of that and bring it all the way up to where I'm at now. The reality is you can't. You can't grab the past and pull it up. You can only look at the past and learn from what you've done. And I really think you need to be grounded, you need to be rooted in where you're at in the now of your life, and not just with your passions and your visions and your goals, but your family life and maybe you don't have a family yet. Maybe your personal life. Like, when's the last time you did something for you? You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, you have to be grounded in where you're at there, and then you can piece them together to where what works for you, because what works for you, where you're able to show up all in 100% in your passion, and not to say that your passion's never going to throw curveballs, because it does. But if you're showing up authentically in the spaces of your life that work in your life, then you're doing yourself the best service versus if you were to bend because you have this idea that it needs to work this way in order to work, even though it doesn't work in the now of your life, but it worked then back in the day. You're going to then do yourself a disservice and you're going to end up depleting and putting stumbling blocks around your passion, and you're going to feel burnt out so much quicker because you're not showing up in the realness of where you're at.
Right.
You have to, if you're going to do something for you, for other people too, it has to be rooted with you first.
Right.
Otherwise, it won't ever work.
Right.
This is such a full, like, we're coaching ourselves right now, girl. Like, that's
Right.
how I
That,
feel.
it's
But,
that
like,
best
ugh,
yes.
huh?
It's that best yes. Like
Yeah.
making sure that your yes is your best yes, not just saying yes because you either feel like you have to, or because you did in the past, or because someone wants you to, or because, like, not saying yes for any of those reasons, except for the fact that you've actually thought it through and you're like, this is the best yes for me right now. Because if I say yes because someone else wants me to, or I say yes because I did it in the past, or I say yes for any, but then it creates stress,
You're right.
it wipes it all away, you know?
Yeah,
So
stress is no good.
yeah, being able to just recognize, like you said, be rooted in, what are my goals for my family right now in this season, and what are my goals for myself in this season? What's the goal for my mental health, for my physical health, for my faith, for my family, for my friends, for my relationship? I mean, there are so many things that women juggle, and
Right.
I mean men too, but women juggle that we have to be rooted in all those things with our vision so clear that when we get opportunities or when we get visions and ideas, because you and I are very much wired with visions and ideas, we are factories. When those
Yeah.
come in, we have to be rooted so that we can filter them through all of those visions, those, you know, the clarity of what we're rooted in, so that we're not saying yes to something that is going to ruin one of those areas, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, that's so true. And it could quickly come in and like have that little factory.
I think what's
Yeah.
cool, I think as we talk about this, I think for me, if you were to say, because you're like, if we just talk about it, it's easy to talk about. And as we talk this out, I think like the excitement sometimes, right? Or it could be I guess I'll just use myself. Like I think for me, when we talk about are you living in the past, I look at like some of like the most exciting times. Like I kind of just told you my husband gets over fast. I look back and I'm like, wow, I'm not living that or doing that. Like, how do I do it? But that's not my season I'm in right now. Like, that's just not the season I'm in. Um, for me, I think the strategy, if anybody else needs this that's listening right now, is like, okay, so what's the answer? I think the answer is like the bless and release, where you bless that version of you and you're like, that was a killer version of that was a killer time, a killer version. It was incredible. And you are about to embark on another killer version of you. It's gonna feel a little different, might look a little different. It's not gonna be that, but it's gonna be amazing, even better or just as amazing. Like, and we're moving forward in that. I need you to get that excitement going, Monique. I need you to get ready for it, because that same excitement you had over here. Because the reality is, back when I look at that, in that you don't know what you're building when you're building it. You don't know what you're creating when you're creating it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't walk in and it wasn't just a one day you open the door and it's like, wow, it's all amazing. It's great. You got 60 people in a class. You got this going. You got like you're
Yeah.
speaking on a stage. It wasn't that. You're building it just like you're building your now, and you're living it out just like you're living it out now. But your passion and your attitude, back then I didn't have anything to compare it to,
Right.
right?
If you know too much, it can get in your way.
Yeah, yeah. So I think the strategy is to bless and release and go, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Chapter closed. Let's write a new chapter. Let's go. Let's make it epic. And we're
Yeah.
gonna let it like transform, because I'm gonna lead with love. I'm gonna lead with heart and passion. I'm gonna keep my priorities my priorities. I'm gonna stay rooted in what matters to me.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see, where this goes. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You made me think about relating it to something that I've talked about in the past, like to really bring this full circle. And then I want to put a pin about being rooted and what that means. So like don't let me forget about the pin. It's right there. Um, but talking about like looking at like the bless and release and like you're looking at your past. Now, I, for some reason, thought in my brain, and maybe this can bring this like this mindset, this perspective kind of like tightened full circle for somebody. Uh, but I looked at the like myself back in the day when I was over 200 pounds. Okay. I was trying to do all of the things to be a healthy mom and get that weight off me. And I wasn't budging, right? I was working out, I was eating healthy, I was doing all the things. And I was stuck frustrated, working hard at that. Like I was killing it, and you're working hard and not seeing the results. And I did nothing but look at myself, my 200-pound self in the mirror, and I tore myself down. You're never going to lose weight. You're never going to do this. Like, da da da. Like, this is your life. Like, and I hate the way I look at my shirts. I hate the way I look at my pants. Like, I just was the meanest girl to myself in that mirror. But when I had like a line in the sand moment when I got my mindset around different conversations, it made me look at myself differently, especially when my daughter overheard me say in the mirror to myself that I didn't see her, like I didn't see her, uh, around me when I said it. I was like, I hate my legs. And then her repeating that days later created like this whole, I need to move my mindset into something different. So if you're looking at your past as I'm looking at my 200-pound self and I'm tearing myself down constantly in that mirror, I'm never going to get anywhere that I need to go because I am self-sabotaging myself.
Mhm.
So I had to realize and flip the script in my mind, and it was not easy, that the girl that I was looking in the mirror was the girl that was going to change my life. So if we're looking at the past, instead of looking at it in a negative mindset, like I'm never going to have that again. Like that is never that's a unicorn. That's going to be like that's where like that's never going to be possible again. Well, then you're going to be right because
Mhm.
you're putting that into your own world's existence because you're looking at that 200-pound past and you are giving it the negativity, even though it was a great thing,
Mhm.
because you're giving it it's bounced back over to you in the now of your life years later that you ain't ever going to have that again. Well, maybe that season was what it needed to be, and maybe what you are about to have,
Right,
you need to you need to pivot.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just thought about that as like looking at your past. It made me relate it. I don't know if it related well, but to me in my brain, it worked out well. But the rooted pin I'm going to pull back out for what we stand for what we created this whole rooted brand and this rooted conversation and this rooted mindset was just all about being able to stand tall in who you are and what you believe in and doing it unapologetically, but doing it respectfully, showing up in your four walls in your all and just building up your own confidence, your own belief, and just standing tall in what you should be rooted in, what is meaningful to you in your life, and not feeling out of alignment, but fully aligned. And it is always going to be a work in progress because we're growing through this life. Curveballs come, life happens. We
Mhm.
pick up a book, we get a different perspective, we grow. You have to adapt alongside that. And if you and I are not personally rooted in what we are building here alongside the rooted podcast, our rooted fitness, our we got more rooted things that like visionaries over here, people. But like if you and I at the core of what we are talking about and what we are building together are there not rooted, then the whole process of what we're
Right,
doing, what are we doing it for?
right.
Because if we can't be rooted, we can't help other women be rooted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, it's just like,
It's a trust thing too for me. It's
yeah,
like just the trust and the faith, like to say, you know what? I'm not gonna strive against the things that matter to me anymore, right? Like that's the season too. As you were talking about getting older, like you're like I could, but that feels like striving, and that feels like it's going against my 1, 2, 3 priority. Like so, I'm actually not going to. Why? Because I'm rooted. Like that's we're baddies, and if you're
yeah, look
listening,
at us.
that's your that's what you're gonna say now when somebody's like, "Well,
Here we
with
go.
you," and you're gonna be like, "No, I can't." Why? Because I'm
I'm
rooted.
rooted.
I'm
I'm
rooted in
rooted.
what I know matters most. Can you imagine, like,
Oh,
because we struggle, everybody struggles, but could you imagine truly walking every day and being like, I'm totally fine with what goes down because I'm rooted with what matters most to me, my faith, my family, my friends, like whatever it is, my fitness, whatever that is for you. And as we continue our podcast and continue our community, like we talk about it more and more, and we'll get into like, what does that mean? How do you get rooted? How do you actually do that? Um, but when you walk in that and you're like, no, I can't, and you're fine, you have peace about it because you're like, I'm
yeah,
just trusting and I have faith that everything's going to work out because my priorities are rooted. I'm
yeah,
rooted. I'm not going to be striving. I'm not going to be pushed to and fro.
right.
I'm not going to be,
You're unshakable.
yeah, yeah,
And it's like that whole like what truly matters. And
yeah,
when you're like you're able to take things off your table that so much quicker when your vision is so clear.
yeah.
No, it's so good, Mo.
It is so good. And life is too short. It's just too short. It's
Too
too
short.
precious and it's too short. And we waste so much of it, either in our own minds or, now everyone on social media, myself included, like it's too short to be pushed away and wasting so much of it in these things and not be rooted. Like, how
Right.
much more beautiful are the days when you actually walk out the day and you're like, Jamie's so rooted in her priorities, and she walks that whole day, you're like, this is the best day ever, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like what you said on our last podcast was like if you don't stand for what was it? It's
No.
that Hamilton, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything or something like that.
Yes. Yes.
So good.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. So good. So one more time with this quote, girl. Let me pull it up. Oh, I screenshot a lot of things. Here we go. Don't let who you were talk you out of who you're becoming. Your past is a place to learn from, not a place to live in.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go through life, friends. You need to grow through it
So good.
on purpose with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a very much you thing.
Amen.
Amen to that, sister.
Yes, this is so good. Thank you.
Good. I appreciate this conversation
Me too. It's
because
good.
I do feel like conversations and topics can seem like surface level, right? They're not going to get in until you get below that surface level and you're able to like kind of sift through it. And when somebody says something in a certain way, you can catch it in a different mindset. And that then can then kind of, I don't know, like you just kind of feel like a calm over when you know what is meaningful to you
Yeah.
and what feels right for you.
Yeah.
I feel like rooted can also be a feeling.
Yeah.
And you got to lean into that.
For sure.
And those that matter in your life and those that you matter to will be there to support you through all that.
Totally.
And that's what allows us to stay rooted, is when you know the difference between who's in your circle and who is in your corner and who the hell shouldn't even be in the stadium.
True that.
So be a noticer. But yeah, no, I appreciate you very much. This was I hope that this message today leaves somebody better
Yeah.
than they press play on this episode. Like I always want to leave people better than we found them. But Mo, I feel like you just left me a lot better than I came into this message. So I
Girl,
appreciate it.
me too. Thank you. And I hope,
Thank
if
you.
you are listening still, like if you got comments, you got questions, you got just ideas or thoughts that came up, or you want to like have a conversation too, please drop a comment below, wherever you're listening this to,
Yeah,
because we would love to engage with you as well. And until we have our full community platform up and running, this is kind of a great place to be able to connect with you. So
love that. Absolutely. Well, love you.
have a great day. Be
Appreciate
blessed.
you.
Be
Yes.
rooted, stay rooted. Whatever comes your way today, you're gonna be like, nah, because I'm
I'd be
rooted.
like, I'd be like, I'm rooted, bitch.
Yeah, sorry.
All
Can't
right.
do
All right. We'll see you
We
guys next
hope
time.
that landed. If it did, drop a comment, share it up, and you know what? We'll see you next week. Until then, stay rooted, sister.